Good evening.
For yourself, but I mean, yeah, we come here to have high expectations, right? You come here to play in big games. You come here to play in front of that crowd, you know. And so you get all the reasons why you come here. So you know, we expect to be ranked, but whatever it is, 23rd, 24th, that's not where we want to end up. So you know, go 1-0 each week and see what happens.
We will hear more from head coach Matt Rhule later in the show. After a powerful win this past weekend against Colorado at home, the Nebraska football team will host once again against Northern Iowa on Saturday. The Huskers and the Panthers are both perfect so far with 2-0 records. Nebraska is ranked at number 23 in the AP rankings, while Northern Iowa is number 21 in the FCS polls. It will be the first time these teams meet up for a matchup, and the Huskers have played 14 FCS teams and are flawless against them. The game is set for prime time, 6:30 p.m. this Saturday at Memorial Stadium. Nebraska Volleyball is prepping for their matchup against number 9 Creighton. The Huskers are now ranked number 5 after their back-to-back victories this past week at the Husker Invitational. Nebraska is 22-0 against Creighton all-time, with John Cook being responsible for 19 of those victories. This match will be at home, where the volleyball team hasn't lost for 27 games in a row, dating back to November 26, 2022. The matchup will be at 7 p.m. tomorrow night at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Coming up next is the first hour of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Sanders goes for the silent count, gets a snap, steps throw, pass is intercepted, touchdown Nebraska, pick 6, Tommy Hill, pick 6, Big Red. Snap back, Huskers coming after him, he steps up, gets hit, bounces away from the pressure, looks downfield, gets hit a second time and goes down. Brought down by M.J. Sherman, third sack in the quarter, a 5-yard loss on the play. Rhule waits, claps, gets the snap, back to throw, here comes a corner blitz, shows a little pass, is nearly picked off.
No caught.
And then caught by Ramier, and into the end zone for a touchdown. The Colorado defender had the ball, bobbled it, Ramier took it away from him, and dashed in for 6 points.
Left side tip shot, Siebler, and it goes backwards, and a great save by Harper, and a redirect from Rebecca. Quick shot in the middle, won't drop. Forward on Tennessee State, bumps that left. Krause off hands, it falls. That's defense, 18-14.
Now, here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Today was the most important game today because it was Saturday. It had nothing to do with them, had nothing to do with anything else other than that. It was just, today was the most important day because it's Saturday, it's week 2 in the season. You know, so it was just, we just came out there with a killer mindset the same way we went out there if there's anybody else on the other side.
Shotgun look, Dowdell off to the right of Dillon. Tight formation to the left, one wide out right. Dillon claps the hands, gets the snap, gives it off to Dante, has another scene, 10-5, touchdown, Nebraska. Back to throw, gets pressure, gets hit, goes down. First sack of the game, Ty Robinson with the sack for the Huskers.
And so, like, he's a dominant player. Every scout that comes in, I'm like, I'm just telling you guys, he's a dominant football player that can play 4 positions, and he plays hard. He about broke my neck walking down the thing because he was so happy that we won, you know. He grabbed me, and because he's one of the guys who came back. I love him. I'm proud of him.
Play clock at 5. Snap put down. Kick sailing is blocked at the line of scrimmage. Huskers block the kick. Keep the 0 on the board. It was Ty Robinson up in the air to knock it down.
Yeah, no, we just wanted that ball. You know, remember a lot of things that were said last year. Just put our head down, got to work over the off season, and you know, when it was time to come again, we made sure it wasn't going to happen.
Offerdahl is the back. They motion Horn, turn, give it off to Offerdahl. Stood up, stop. No, he did not get it.
They don't listen, Sharpie.
Huskers will take over on downs. Mackay Bear DB makes the tackle.
I didn't want to make this game about the other team because I think we have good players. I want to make it about us. I think we have good players, and Tommy's an excellent player, and he broke, and he didn't jump something. He played his technique. He broke. He saw it. He went and got the ball. He intercepted it, and then he went out and played the next drive. So I think Tommy's one of the best players in the country.
Sanders
Bullock is going to take away this slant.
Goes to the silent count, gets a snap, set throw,
Pick.
passes, intercepted, touchdown Nebraska. Pick 6, Tommy Hill. Pick 6, Big Red.
It's an awesome feeling to be able to go out there and perform how we did, and that game was a lot of fun to just be a part of, to watch, to play, to do all of it. So I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Snap back. Huskers coming after him. He steps up, gets hit, bounces away from the pressure, looks downfield, gets hit a second time and goes down. Brought down by M.J. Sherman. Third sack in the quarter. A 5-yard loss on the play. Dowdell's put back. Dillon goes shotgun. Huskers line up quickly. Turn, snap, hand it off to Dowdell. Leap toward the goal line. He's in. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Here we go.
Rhule waits, claps, gets the snap. Back to throw. Here comes a corner blitz. Shows a little pass. Is nearly picked off.
No, caught.
And then caught by Ramier. And into the end zone for a touchdown. The Colorado defender had the ball, bobbled it. Ramier took it away from him and dashed in for 6 points.
Especially after last season, we knew it was going to be something different this season, and we all knew that, everybody had to do the individual parts, and I feel like that's what happened today. So I'm so ready to be with my family and celebrate, tell them, like, hey, we working to something here, and we're looking at the bigger picture.
Well, how much fun was that? I hope everybody soaked that one in from Saturday night. What a terrific performance by the Big Red. I'll tell you, that thing could have gotten a lot worse. 28-10 will take, but my goodness, all the penalties late in the game. 6 of Nebraska's 12 penalties happened in the fourth quarter.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter.
Hey, I don't mind. We're 2-0. And Jessica, we have a ranked football team now here in Lincoln, Nebraska.
How about that? And I just got to say, can we give a shout out to Josh for that montage? Wow, you and I were texting about it earlier. He's done it now a couple weeks in a row, but just chills just to go back and listen to some of the calls with the post-game reaction. Just awesome. Great way to kick off the show and to recap what, just an incredible night. It's just so many things to talk about, so many positives to talk about. But yeah, the electric atmosphere and how the Huskers came out, you couldn't ask for a better start. The defensive stop and then the offense going in and punching it in. You had another defensive score. And, yeah, I think we heard Coach Rhule talk, in the press conference today and some of the players post-game. There's things to clean up. There's some things on film that we've got to get better at. And that's what you love about this football team is despite the 2-0 record, they are hungry to keep getting better. They know what they are capable of. And so, yeah, there's some things to clean up. But give it up to the defense and the black shirts. What an incredible performance by the defense.
Yeah, and we're going to hear more from Coach Rhule coming up later in the hour. And you're right. I loved him today at his press conference because he's not satisfied. He was pointing out every little thing that they got wrong Saturday night, and he wants his team to keep fighting toward perfection, which you never get to as a football team. But I loved his comments today, and we'll have some of those for you here in a little bit. It was electric. The fans were fantastic. It was a buzz around town all day long. We talked about it in our pregame show Saturday night about how people were fired up all day long. And Nebraska continues to play amazing defense. The offense, it wasn't a stellar night for the offense, but it was enough. And the penalties kept at least 2 touchdowns off the board late in that game. And it's so funny because Damon and I were in the third quarter. At that point, we thought the officials had done a pretty good job, but then they got flag happy in the fourth period. Nebraska ended the game with 12 penalties, 6 in the final 15 minutes, 3 in the third quarter. So they had 9, is my math's good, 9 of the 12 in the second half of that game. And it just kind of made it really sloppy to the finish line. But I don't care. We won. We're clearly the better football team on Saturday night, and now onwards and upwards. And we play a different kind of team this week in Northern Iowa, which it won't get the angst of the fans like last week did, but this team can certainly use this opportunity to get better, and I think they will. For
Greg, by the way,
the sideline.
You had mentioned the penalties too, and probably kept a couple touchdowns off the board. Didn't Coach Rhule say a couple of those penalties probably led to the points that Colorado scored too, or it might have been a shutout?
Sure, they were. I mean, a couple of those were, that were ones that advanced the football down the field for them as well. But we had a couple of holding penalties that wiped out a Ramier, big-time play by Ramier early in the game. And so it was just a really dominant performance. And the interesting thing was he said today, and this was the feeling in the building last week, Jess, he said today he kind of thought that it was going to be a fairly lopsided Nebraska win. And I think the feeling all week last week And certainly we were all talking before the game Saturday. That was kind of the feeling. We were going to put it on Colorado, and by golly, we did.
Yeah, and, Mekhi Bayer got some heat last week for some of the things that he said. To me, I didn't think it was anything against Colorado. It was more so that's how much he believes in his teammates and the guys around him. And so I love the little piece that the Nebraska football crew put together to kind of highlight Mekhi and what he said, and hey, he backed it up, and the defense certainly did. He believes that much in this defense, and I think the confidence is there. It was there at the end of last year. There was no doubt about it. I mean, that defense, the confidence continued to grow, and they saw that what they were doing worked. And then, going into last night, I mean, you could tell that they knew that they were going to, especially up front, were going to have a big night. But what I loved, Greg, and I did want to make sure and point this out. So when I interviewed Tommy Hill on the field, he pointed out, I don't get my interception without the defensive line. Then I interviewed 3 defensive linemen, 2 and MJ Sherman, and they both said, we don't get our sacks and our tackles for loss without the guys on the back end, without those defensive backs doing their job. And so I loved how, and that was unsolicited too, just the way that, both got the defensive players were quick to point out the credit that it takes a whole defense to be able to do what they did. And but you could tell that they had a lot of confidence going into that they knew that they were probably going to be able to put together a pretty solid performance, even despite the extremely talented skill players that Colorado has. They still believed in what they were going to be able to do and the game plan that they had put together.
DB was right on it on the pick 6 by Tommy Hill. He said John Bullock took out the first option that Shedeur wanted to go through. So then he took his second option, which allowed Tommy to get the pick 6. And Matt Rhule pointed that same thing out today at his press conference. And that, when you're getting teammates crediting other teammates for a big play that they maybe made, you've got something really right with your culture inside the locker room. And so there's a lot to like there. Folks, we'd love to hear your reaction. It was a big red reaction. If you listen to that, turn it into Dr. Phil's show because there was so much emotion by the fans after that win over Colorado. And we just haven't had a lot of those big wins around here in the last decade. So we'd love your reaction. 402-413-2400, either with a call or a text. I'm going to start with a text from John in Kansas. Hey, guys, can you find out if Nebraska submitted the Bear ejection for review? They did, and they're waiting to hear back from the league officials. Now, again, this was a Big 12, not a Big 10 crew, so they'll have to go through the Big 12 office whether to get this thing reversed. My guess is they won't, and Mekhi will miss the first half of the UNI game. But I'm with you, John. And we said it on the broadcast. We did not think that was targeting. We thought they got that thing wrong. We thought they missed some targeting. And Jessica, I think our sideline felt the same way. I think we missed some targeting on some of with Colorado players on our guys Saturday night.
Yeah, I think you guys were on a couple of them that saying, I don't know about that one. And okay, I feel like, yes, we are the Homer broadcast, but I feel like you guys are pretty good about saying, they got that one right, or, I don't know about that one. And it seemed to be too that the ones that you guys were saying, I don't know about that one, were the ones that the sideline was pretty salty about. And you could tell by the reaction. I don't see it as much because I'm kind of taking in the stuff on the sidelines, but I can see the reaction from the sideline and the coaching staff. And a lot of times they're spot on with how you guys are feeling. The emotions are the same sentiments that if they get it wrong, or if, okay, all right, yeah, we did do that, we got to be better for that. You can tell when they really feel like probably didn't agree with that call. What's crazy too, Greg, is with the iPads now, they can go back and look at it. So it was almost immediate that after Mekhi Bayer had the targeting penalty, he came back on the bench and was looking at the replay on the iPad to see, hey, what did I do? And I'm sure to make sure that he learns better and improves from it, and if it was legit, and just going back to see it. And so yeah, I think that's the thing too, is that even on the sideline now you have those iPads, you can go back and really see a lot quicker too if it was the right call or not. But yeah, it just, it just totally disrupted the flow of the game. It slowed things down, all the penalties, and it was kind of put a damper, I feel like. I mean, and the crowd stayed and it was great, but it seemed to just the flow of the game, it really put a damper on that when just the flags were coming out and coming out and coming out.
Well, it's fourth quarter. The game had been decided. Colorado was ready to go home, and here come all the flags. And it just was too bad that kind of it didn't ruin the night. It just kind of smudged the finish of the game. And, hey, it took, like I said, it took points off the board for the Big Red. This would have been a wider margin. Again, I'll take a 1-point win every time, but I think the final score is really not indicative of how dominant a performance Nebraska put on Saturday night. Because a lot of people around the country maybe didn't get a chance to watch the game and say, oh, good win for Nebraska, 28-10. They took care of business. But if you watch the game, you're going to go, my goodness, did they take care of business? They absolutely flattened Colorado in this game. I want you to talk about and tell our audience about the atmosphere in the night. And you're down there on the sidelines. You're feeling the same thing the players and the team are because you're hearing the exact noise they are. That crowd, I thought, was revved up from kickoff to final gun. And just take me through it. How about the electricity that you felt down on the field?
Well, to me, it was, 2 hours before kickoff when they let the student section in. And I walked down there, I have a hit with you about hour and 45 before. And I walked down there just right before that, and it was already from the bottom to the top full on the student section because they get to get in a little bit earlier. And as soon as Colorado starts trickling out, one guy at a time, boy, they had some words for them. And so, the student section really set the tone for that from the start. And then, it filled in really quickly, a lot of times, which it a lot of times does, but I feel like it was even fuller from the start this time. And then, boy, they were cheering every time some of the Husker players would come out. And even when they were showing sometimes on the big screens, they'll show some of the games that, hey, there might be a close game or a upset watch, and they had the Iowa State game on. And I don't think you saw it on the big screen, but I heard you in my ear. I think it was during a commercial break. You're like, boy, there was a loud cheer, and it was because they showed live on the big screen Iowa State kicking that game-winning field goal. So the crowd erupted during the highlight on the big screen. And so then, again, as it filled in, and it was just getting more electric as we went along. And, the tunnel walk with the 1994 team. And, I told you guys this on the broadcast. And then I talked to one of the girls from the Huskers Athletic Fund that were helping put on the 1994 celebration. And we were laughing because they were trying to get the 1994 guys to go to the side, and they were not having it. They were running straight down that tunnel. And there were a couple of them, a couple of those offensive linemen. I think they thought that they were playing on Saturday night, and they were going back and forth. The Husker power, it was so loud. And then I'm sitting right there, and I can hear in my ears the mic, the ref mic, and then I can hear my own mic. And I've got the noise canceling earbuds, and I barely can hear. You asked me, like, can you hear down there? I'm like, no, I barely can hear what's going on. It was so loud, and it really was. It stayed that way, and you could tell it made a difference. And Greg, how about we had Tony White on, and he had said something about a crowd penalty tracker, or the tracking when the crowd causes disruptions on the opposing offenses, and Husker Vision turned that around and they had it up on the big screen. And so that was awesome too that they were able to utilize that. But it made a difference, and Coach Rhule even said it was even hard for us as the home team because it was that loud. And they were really loud until halftime, and then when the fourth quarter show came, it was just unbelievable. Joel Klatt put out a tweet today. He quote tweeted someone that showed the fourth quarter light show, and he said, you guys don't want to know what's going to happen when Nebraska gets rolling. I played there twice, and he said, good Lord, it's going to be crazy. So he even mentioned it, but I think a lot of people are taking notice, and it was just unbelievable. I don't even know if I can describe it, but it was really from the start when those gates up. We sat here during the pregame show and during the Legacy Walk. There were so many people out there already, even just to greet the team coming in. They were so far back, they had nowhere they couldn't even see the team walking in, but they were all crowded up right there. So it was all day. I had to leave early to get here, and the traffic was backed up. I don't know if I could fully describe just how electric it was all day, and even into Friday night when I went down to the Haymarket for the 94 celebration. So it was an incredible weekend. And as Coach Rhule said, hey, let's keep this going, and not just for Colorado, but it makes a huge difference. So let's keep this going for every time that this team plays.
402-413-2400. You want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. Doug in Norfolk said the rules analyst on the TV broadcast was fairly critical of the questionable calls most of the night. Good. I'm glad that I think that's Terry McAuliffe, or I think is who they use on NBC. So good stuff there. All right, keep those calls and texts coming. We'll be back and hear some clips from Matt Rhule. He had a press conference, his normal Monday press conference today, to talk about the upcoming week and reaction from the game. A lot of good stuff that we'll get to with him coming up here in just a little bit. FMC is proud to support Ag Day. For over 130 years, FMC has delivered innovative and sustainable crop protection solutions, helping growers maximize productivity, profitability, and sustainability. Learn more at ag.fmc.com. Back with more of the show coming up.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Akrs Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Akrs Equipment, solutions for every field.
At Beck's, we stand up for the things that matter most: our faith, our independence, and helping farmers succeed. As the largest family-owned seed company in the U.S., we believe in the integrity of remaining an independent family-owned seed company. Since our founding in 1937, we have continued to produce quality products backed by a quality family of employees and dealers dedicated to serving American farmers. And that's something to be proud of. Beck's, founded in faith, forged in America. For more information, visit beckshybrids.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
It's time again for some Nebraska Farm Facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Live reports of polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue!
Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hovering here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty you have.
Call 402-391-2336.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of this special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. On our text line, Art in Los Angeles. Greg, is there someone keeping track of the crowd noise? It had to be close to a record. 142 decibels is the world record. Some people in the chat room said tonight that they have some apps on their phone, and they registered at 116, Art, so I guess we're a little short of that world record. Let's go to the phones, out to North Platte and Jim. Good evening, Jim. Welcome to Sports Nightly.
Yeah, good evening to you two. The offense and the defense played good. Even the offense played real good the first half. Defense played excellent, even the total game. I was very disappointed that Nebraska did not work on the running game in the second half. I was very disappointed in that, very disappointed in basically penalties. We need to get a field goal kicker in there. I think our field goal kicker has missed one or else two cheap shot field goals. Thank you. Go Big Red.
All right, Jim, thank you. Appreciate the call. In fact, Henry, David, let's start with cut 4 because that's Matt Rhule today talking about special teams. Tristan did miss his only field goal try the other night. He's now 1 of 2 on the year. You guys got the cut ready? Okay on that one? Okay, we'll start with Matt. I was going to start with cut 3. We'll start with cut 4. This dealt with special teams. That was not a good area for Nebraska. And it's an area they've got to get better at, and the coaches know it. Here's the coach addressing special teams.
The worst special teams performance I've had in a long time. The worst. I don't know. I'm disappointed. And it's a lot of things, right? It's just not any one thing. It's a lot of things. It's we run down on the opening kickoff, and we set the tone with some big hits, but we're not leveraging the ball, so the next one comes out. Like, thank goodness John Holtz might be the fastest kicker I've ever seen, because he runs Jimmy out of bounds. We get a punt blocked. That's not supposed to happen. Now we blocked a field goal, which is awesome. We have some goals about that. Buschini was a weapon. Like when the complimentary football was good, like the first drive we stopped them, they punt the ball to IGC. It bounces twice. He picks it up and he gets the ball back to the 50. Like, people aren't talking enough about what Isaiah's doing for us in the punt return. He dives and catches the one. I don't love the dive, but he catches one at the 30. Then we go down and score in 2 minutes. So he's doing a great job. Kickoff return, the first one should have been a big hit. We don't hit it. The second one, the ball hits the ground. Now, I know Jacory lost it in the lights, and we practiced at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I put that on me. Maybe we're not catching up probably on the lights. Like last year, we practiced Wednesday nights. So I'll have to do some more of that this week. And then, we missed a field goal, and the snaps haven't been great on field goals. So I feel like the kickers now are worried about that. So there's a lot of things that aren't real good. We got the right man for the job, and Ed, he'll get it fixed. But the guys, I think the guys have to recognize that, we've got to do a better job, and I think they all felt that.
I've talked about the iPads quite a bit, but that was one of the things on the both on the missed field goal and the block punt. Boy, Coach Foley had the specialists gathered around, and they were going back trying to figure out what happened and how they can address it moving forward. But there were some bright spots on the special teams, but there were definitely some mishaps that have got to get fixed. And so, we talk a lot about complementary football, and this staff, this team will be the first to tell you it's not just offense and defense, that they've got to make improvements and be good on special teams, and not just on two areas of special teams or one area of special teams, all areas of special teams. They've got to make improvements. And so you heard him say right there, it wasn't good enough. And so that will certainly be something that they'll address and look to get better at and be better at moving forward.
I don't know what you say about Tristan. I mean, he was inconsistent at times last year, and now he's 1-2, and that was not a really long field goal attempt he had the other night. Let's get back to the phones. Dave in Elkhorn has been waiting. Good evening, Dave. Welcome to Sports Nightly.
Oh, sorry, it's on me. My bad. Okay, Dave, sorry, we got you.
Yeah, I caught a clip on one of the local stations of one of our players coming off the field, and I assume it was his position coach out there talking to him, and then Matt came out onto the field and actually kind of shoved the other coach out of the way so he could talk to this kid or lecture him or whatever. But I just wondered if anybody had heard about that, or I've got the video on my phone if you'd like me to text it to you. No,
that's coaching. That's coaching right there, Dave. I mean, that happens every football game from Pee Wee League to the NFL. That's coaching.
Okay.
He's the head coach. He gets the final say. Appreciate the call, though.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, appreciate the call. Now, that's coaching, Jazz. I mean, that's just, head coach, if he's going to get a message across, he's going to get it. And whether it's Terrence Knighton talking to a kid or Ed Foley or whoever, the head coach is going to make his voice heard. Yeah, absolutely. If there's something that he wants to say, he wants to get a point, he wants to get across, then look, they respect him for it, and there's a reason why they are on his staff. They believe in the direction and what he's doing, and so if there are certain things that he sees, then they absolutely are going to defer to him too. So that's kind of how it is. And Coach Rhule, he doesn't micromanage his guys, but if there's a need for him to step in, he will, and that's why he's a really great CEO and a leader of a program and has been successful at multiple programs. 402-413-2400. That's the number to be a part of the program. It's our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. We'll be back with more of the show coming up next.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game. Thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
I have reports of polar bear on the loose. Ma'am, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hubbard here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty you got.
Call 402-391-2336.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Sports Alley brought to you by Choices Treatment Center. If you or someone you know is struggling with problem gambling, free treatment is available in Nebraska. Call Choices 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. For more information, offices in Lincoln and Columbus. Let's go to the phones at 402-413-2400. Brandon, no, Brandon's off. Let's go to Skeet then in Fort Calhoun. Good evening, Skeet. Welcome to Sports Alley.
Good evening, Greg and Jessica. Happy Monday. My question or comment was, I know this was an absolutely huge recruiting weekend. Has there been any commits, anything that's come out of this, and kind of what's the overall vibe from recruiting at this standpoint following this game?
Well, nobody committed while they were here as far, but they had to be blown away, Jess, by what they saw.
Yeah, I was going to say happy winning Monday at that to Skeet. But, yeah, I don't know. I have not seen any commits, but I know, I walk up and down that sideline. In fact, I had to go to the other side because it was so crowded, and it wasn't just the football recruits. There were some basketball recruits here. I know volleyball was going to have some recruits here, and they were all taking pictures. And what was cool, too, is Bud Crawford's right there on the sideline, and so people were so fired up about that, and just – there's no question they were blown away by what they saw. So I can tell you and even the parents, what they were taking in, there's no doubt in my mind that they were liking what they were seeing. But as far as commitments, I can't say if I've seen any or not.
Right. So, yeah, that's what I'm just hopeful. And, everybody was blown away. So that's amazing. We did such an awesome job. Go Big Red. That's all,
all right, Ski, appreciate it. Yeah, no commits out of the weekend, but hey, it sure could set the stage for some guys to commit between now and that December signing day. And our coaches have always said you get somebody on campuses during a game, particularly a football game here, it's pretty hard for them to say no in the end. So let's stay here in Lincoln for our next caller. April, you're up next here on Sports Alley. Good evening.
Yes, thank you for taking my call. I wasn't able to go to the game, and I wasn't able to watch it on TV Saturday night because I had to work. But some of the co-workers were talking today that had gone to the game, and they said that even when Colorado did do something decent, like complete a pass or stop a Nebraska runner, or even when they made their field goal, the players didn't jump up and down and clap and high-five each other. They just acted like as if, oh, well, so what? Like as if they had already given up. And I just wondered if anybody else saw that and felt that way, too.
I think Colorado, April, I think at the end of the first quarter, they knew they were in for a long night. Players can sense that, and Jess, their body language wasn't very good. Shador left the field before the end of the game, and I know he was beat up, and it probably wasn't a bad move because I think they knew the students were coming out on the field, but their body language was bad. Yeah, it was. And then even after the game, too, he talked about, well, how many times did Rhule get touched, and that we've got to be able to run the football, to be able to pass the football, and you could tell he was frustrated. The entire team was frustrated. There's no doubt about it. They were punched in the mouth early and were not able to get back up after they got punched in the mouth. April, thank you for the phone call. Appreciate you calling in here on Sports Alley here on the night. 402-413-2400. The number if you want to be a part of the program. A lot of people in the chat and on text lines, Jess, want to know what you thought of the balloons flying for the first time in several years. I loved it. It was awesome, really cool. Told my mom to get one. She held on to it. Actually, it's kind of a funny story. They came down to take a picture with me. And David was standing down there,
And so she basically made Damon hold onto her stuff, including the balloon, for her to be able to take a picture because she was not letting that thing go, so she could be able to let it go when the Huskers scored. So she was pretty proud, and it was just such a cool sight. It was a really neat sight. For as much as we give the chat a hard time, it was really neat to see.
Well, Damon owed you a solid, so he owed you that.
Yes, he did. Did that ever come up in the broadcast? Did he ever give me a shout out, a kudos, a thanks for? He wanted a sandwich, so I went and got him a pretty big sandwich before the game.
I don't believe he brought it up. No.
So, but yeah, I told him. I said, "Well, that was payback for me getting your sandwich. You had to help my mom out." So.
All right, Brandon was on hold. He had said he had to hang up, but he did text in his question. He said, wants to know about Fedoni's role for this team. And like right now, we've only kind of thrown some outside bubble screens to him. Do we think that will change? Yes, I do. In fact, Matt Rhule brought that up, I think, earlier today in his press conference. But they did take a shot down the field with one of the tight ends later in the game. It was Borkature made a nice catch for 25 yards. Thomas Fedoni is going to be a part of this offense. Don't worry about that. But, yeah, they've not really – but they haven't had to go to that part of the playbook yet. That's the good news. Fedoni, though, Jess, he's going to be a big part of this thing.
Yeah, and Coach Rhule has pointed out a couple different times his blocking, which is an area that I know Thomas was really focused on improving and being better at this year. And so he's on the field constantly. It's just a matter of, opening things up to get him some looks and some good opportunities, but he's contributing in more ways than just catching a bunch of passes. But I think his role is just going to continue to grow and grow, and he's going to be a star, I think, in this offense.
Agreed. I don't want to burst everybody's balloon, but I don't think it's going to be for every game. So if you show up Saturday night for the Northern Iowa game, I don't think they're going to be there. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I don't think the plan was to do this for every home game. So that was kind of a cool moment to do it there, but I don't know that you're going to see those Saturday night for the Northern Iowa game. Maybe wrong, but don't plan on that. All right, need to get a break in. 402-413-2400. Love hearing the calls. Keep them coming. Keep the texts coming. More Sports Nightly next.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker Football Spring Game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with a home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. It's a winning Monday show of Sports Alley after the Huskers beat Colorado 28-10 Saturday night. Now they'll finish off non-conference play with UNI, Northern Iowa, coming to town for another night game this Saturday at 6:30. Coach Rhule was asked at his presser earlier today, what was the film session like this week? And he had a really interesting answer. Here he is.
I went for a full hour with the team, right? Because what I'd say is this: we're not playing losing. I think I believe there's three stages. There's eliminating losing football, and then you play winning football, and then eventually you want to play championship football. I think we're playing winning football, and so we've got to get to championship football, and so there's a lot of things to learn from, right? And so, again, like I said last week, you correct the correctable things. You want the guys. I did it in front of the whole team, so the guys would take ownership. And 2 weeks in, let me say this about Colorado: that is a bunch of 4- and 5-star recruits. That is as talented and skilled a team as we will face. And I'm not just maybe someone else is maybe a little, but there's talent everywhere. And so, that you have a chance to really look at yourself now and see, what are we doing well, what are we not doing well. And so yeah, I thought the film sessions were very honest. I'm not in the offensive and defensive ones, but mine was very honest in terms of guys taking ownership and recognizing the execution. Like Tommy Hill had a great pick six, but if you watch the tape, I think it's Travis. Travis Hunter runs like a spot route, and Bullock takes it away. And he tries to go inside, and Bullock slides inside. Bullock played an amazing game. And so then the quarterback goes out late to Tommy, and Tommy picks it. And so the guys on defense, I think, really understand I can't do what I do unless you do what you do. And we had great pass rush because we had great pass coverage. There was not people running open very often. There was a couple, but not very often. And I want to say two names. I don't do this very often. Roman Mangini and Kenneth Williams. They played 5 and 12 last week, and they destroyed us. Like Wednesday, I had to call the team up. I was so upset. But the guys got better on defense on Thursday, and then on Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday, Thursday to Friday. And I think after the game, the first thing Giff said to me was like, "Man, Kenneth and Roman really did a great job." So I'm pointing out the good, the bad, that Mitch, like, hey, look at the things we got better at, look at the coverage, and then the opportunities we had to put the game away, that we didn't do. So.
Good stuff there from Matt Rhule. We'll try to get some more from the coach's presser earlier today. Coming up next hour, and also part of the dig this week. A big match tomorrow night for Husker Volleyball against Creighton. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Good evening. I'm David Swotek, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. The new AP rankings have been released for Week 3, and Nebraska is in the number 23 spot. Head coach Matt Rhule spoke today at a press conference discussing how the team will move forward with this new knowledge.
I think there's so much on the film from this past game that we have to get corrected and get better at. That I think that speaks for itself. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we come here to have high expectations, right? You come here to play in big games. You come here to play in front of that crowd, you know. So you get all the reasons why you come here. So, you know, we expect to be ranked, but whatever it is, 23rd, 24th, that's not where we want to end up. So, you know, go 1-0 each week and see what happens.
We will hear more from head coach Matt Rhule later in the show. Nebraska men's golf claimed an individual title just about an hour ago. Rudy Sotrin scored 5 under at the Gopher Invitational in Minnesota. This placement is the best debut performance by any Nebraska men's golfer in school history. He also tied the best 54-hole performance by a sophomore in school history as well. With Sotrin's victory, he helped the Huskers finish in 3rd overall. The Nebraska men's golf team will be back in action when they host the Get Her Done Invitational at Firethorn Golf Club starting on September 23rd. Nebraska Volleyball is prepping for their matchup against number 9 Creighton. The Huskers are now ranked number 5 after their back-to-back victories this past week at the Husker Invitational. Nebraska is 22-0 against Creighton all-time, with John Cook being responsible for 19 of those victories. This match will be at home, where the Nebraska volleyball team hasn't lost for 27 games in a row, dating back to November 26 of 2022. The matchup will be at 7 p.m. tomorrow night at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Sanders goes to the silent count, gets a snap, steps throw, passes, intercepted, touchdown Nebraska. Pick 6, Tommy Hill. Pick 6, Big Red. Snap back. Huskers coming after him. He steps up, gets hit, bounces away from the pressure, looks downfield, gets hit a second time and goes down. Brought down by M.J. Sherman. 3rd sack in the quarter. A 5-yard loss on the play. Viola waits, claps, gets the snap. Back to throw. Here comes a corner blitz. Shows a little pass is nearly picked off.
No caught.
And then caught by Ramir. And into the end zone for a touchdown. The Colorado defender had the ball, bobbled it. Ramir took it away from him and dashed in for 6 points.
Left side tip shot, Siebler. And it goes backwards. And a great save by Harper. And a redirect from Rebecca. Quick shot in the middle, won't drop. Forward on Tennessee State, bumps that left. Krause off hands. It falls. That's defense. 18-14.
Now, here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We're back Monday night, a Victory Monday here on Sports On. I hope everybody had a great weekend. How could you not? What a wonderful game Saturday night. Launched into it. Volleyball won a couple of matches since we last spoke, winning on Saturday, beating Montana State. They got a big one tomorrow night. Creighton comes to town. Huskers now ranked 5th. The latest poll came out earlier today after their loss to SMU. They dropped from 2 to 5. And Creighton, I believe, is in the top 10 now. So
Husker
it's a top 10
fans.
matchup tomorrow night at the Devaney Center. First serve at 7, pregame at 6. Jess, the matches with Creighton down through the years have been legendary. I think this one might be as well. Creighton's really good. I think the Huskers will get pushed, but I know they'll be ready for it as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely a rivalry, and Creighton's programs continue to grow. Coach Booth does a great job, and there's a ton of respect there, but they are a program that, while some teams might be intimidated by Nebraska, Creighton is not one of those when they hit the volleyball court, and they've got some really good players. I know JB, Lauren, and Coach Cook were talking about it after the match on Saturday. So yeah, this is going to be a big test, and it's going to be a good challenge for Nebraska to see how they handle some things. But yeah, an absolutely a great test for Nebraska, and I think. Didn't JB even said maybe even, or Lauren, maybe one of the, perhaps even the biggest tests so far that they've had?
You can make that case. Creighton's really, really good. I mean, Kentucky was ranked, I think, 9th. I think that's where Creighton is now. So this will be a tremendous match tomorrow night. We won't have a Sports Nightly, obviously, because of that tomorrow night here on the program. All right, 402-413-2400. We'll have part of The Dig. Jessica recorded it earlier today with Lindsey Peterson. We'll have that for you coming up later on in the hour. I did want to share this. I found this on Instagram, Jessica. This was from a Colorado fan by the name of Jeffrey Harmis. And he wrote this note. I wanted to share this with the Sports Nightly Nation tonight. He said, I'm a Colorado Buffalo fan, season ticket holder. I want to share my experience at the Nebraska game in Lincoln. First of all, it was the best experience I've ever had at an opposing team stadium. Every Husker fan wanted to make sure that Colorado fans were having a good experience. Not one Husker fan was rude or sarcastic to our section or around the campus. I'm just telling you, every college could learn from Husker fans of respect and a fun rivalry with so much fun and excitement. Okay, now let's talk about the way the Husker fans tailgate. I have never seen or experienced anything like this either. Not just at the Husker groups where we were, but everyone offered us food and drinks, anything we wanted. Husker fans just shared it with you. So much fun. Now let's talk about the game. The group who plans the stadium experience really knows what they are doing. Again, the atmosphere was electric. The picture below was, he put a couple pictures up, was posted during the drone show between the third and fourth quarter where they honored their 1994 national championship team. I must say it's time to challenge every college to try and replicate this for every game. Husker Nation, you were amazing. Thank you, a CU fan. How about that?
Oh, that's great. I love to hear that. And maybe he can take that back and some of his fellow Colorado fans can learn a lesson or two about how to treat people.
Yeah, that's a stark contrast, right, to what our fans kind of experience when they go to Boulder. Now, these two aren't scheduled to play again, and there's no future date on the schedule. I hope it does, because it's it's a good rivalry, and two, it's an easy trip for Husker fans to make out to Boulder. I hope at some point in time, and this would be on Troy Dannon to maybe make this decision to try to put that back on the schedule again.
No, right, that is awesome, and you don't expect anything less from Nebraska fans, regardless of how other fan bases may treat them when they go places. I mean, you hear that time and time again. I can't tell you how many, still to this day, when I go back to Oklahoma and visit family, people that went to the game here, came to the game here, say how much they wish they could come back and that it's their favorite road game that they've been to. And so, you hear the same sentiments again and again from opposing fan bases about how much they love it and why it's a bucket list place for opposing teams' fans to want to come and check out. But, I think somebody said something on the text line earlier. Hopefully it's harder and harder for those opposing fans to get into the stadium.
Right. Now, you do set aside a certain amount for the visiting team, and most teams send tickets back. I think Northern Iowa may use most of their tickets, and it's an easy trip for them to get over from. And it's a big game for them. This is an FCS school making a trip over here. I'm shocked when I read that we've not played them ever in the past. We played the Dakota schools quite a bit, but never Northern Iowa. Usually they play either Iowa or Iowa State. That's usually kind of the one that they go nab in their non-conference schedule. But you and I will be here Saturday night. We played a couple of clips in hour one from Coach Rhule, who was giving his team some tough love. And I think part of it's because, he wants to bring the guys back down to earth quickly, point out that they did not play nearly a perfect game the other night. He kind of picked on special teams, said it's its worst he's been as a coach. Talked about, just breaking down the film and how tough he was on the team with his film session. Well, here's another nerve that was hit when he was asked about, does he think his wide receivers are doing enough blocking? Listen to this.
We didn't block very well on the perimeter. Yeah. The story offensively, very simply, is this. We are going out the first two drives, we're going down and scoring touchdowns, okay? We're playing great in the 2 minute. 2 weeks in a row, we go down and score in the 2 minute. We can do more and do better. If like we throw a bubble screen out there and we just get hit in the legs, right? Their receivers blocked us. So I think our receivers have to have a better week blocking. We had 8 penalties on offense. And not the penalty yards. I think the penalty yards was like 50-some, but the yards lost was like 160 and a touchdown. So that could have been a 45, 50-point game. Now, when I coach, I'm not coaching worrying about what's Robin going to give the offensive grade this week and the defense. I just want to win the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not worried about that, but I want execution, and I didn't like the execution by some people. I thought Dylan executed the whole game. I thought I thought some guys executed the whole game, but I did not like some of the execution, and one of those was the perimeter blocking. I think it could be way better, and it was way better at times last year, way better last week. This wasn't the best week we've had.
Gotta love that, hey, and I think that's where this team is at, and they want to be challenged, and they're ready to be challenged. And if you don't live up to the standards and the expectations, they're going to call you out for it, and they're going to show you, and hey, we got to be better for that. And so, blocking too is just, you can't, it starts the offensive line, but even to the outside, if one person doesn't do their job, then it just, the play can completely fall apart. So everybody's got to do their job. And, I think for as good as maybe a couple of the wide receivers are at blocking, there's still some that absolutely they've got to improve in. And we've heard them even say that's part of their goals to get better at. It's more than just catching the football. You got to be able to protect. And so it definitely will be something that I know that we'll probably want to keep a close eye on and see how much improved. And we'll be able to talk to their position coach a little bit more about it, right, this week?
Gary McGuire will be our coach in studio on Wednesday night, so that will definitely come up there. And Jess, there's a lot of competition in that wide receiver room. And so if you're not getting the job done in that phase of blocking, you're not going to play.
Right.
And they have options, right? They've got guys they could go to if you're not going to step up and do that. I really get the feeling that Coach feels like he's got the defense where he wants them to be, culture-wise, holding people accountable. He's trying to get the offense to catch up. And he went on later to really praise Dylan. And he goes, I got to get the rest of my offensive guys to catch up with Dylan, because he goes, Dylan is doing everything at the right level, and some other guys aren't yet. I got to get them there. And I think that's the challenge in the coming weeks, is to raise the level of the offense up and get them closer to where they have the culture on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and I think probably, too, what could be a little, I would imagine maybe a little frustrating at times, too, is that you have the pieces, so now it's about guys doing their jobs and doing what they have been coached and asked to do, because I think we've already seen it, and it starts right there with the quarterback, but they've got some really talented running backs and some really talented receivers and some incredible tight ends, and so and the offensive line has tons of experience, and so when you have all of those pieces, you would expect maybe for things to be clicking a little bit, but offenses are always a work in progress anyways, so they'll continue to get going. But I can understand why his frustration there, because you've got the talent. There's no doubt about it. We've seen it, and so now it's just they've got to all do their jobs when they're out there.
Folks, Pioneer brand corn hybrids deliver proven performance bag after bag. Contact your local Pioneer sales rep to learn how you can get the most out of your acres. All right, when we come back, Jessica earlier today recorded this week's podcast, The Dig. We'll play you part of that. That's with Director of Operations Lindsey Peterson, who John Cook says is the rock of the organization over there at the Devaney Center. Keep your calls and texts coming as well, 402-413-2400. More of Sports Alley straight ahead.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
In today's digital landscape, the security of your business is non-negotiable. That's why you need better cybersecurity solutions. At Hamilton, we make it our business to protect your network, data, and digital assets with the latest in cybersecurity technology. Our dedicated team of experts has the technology in place to protect what matters most to you and your business. Stay ahead of cyber threats with better cybersecurity protection. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings? Very possible. Playoffs? Highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates, not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now or ever.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker Football Spring Game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
I have reports of a polar bear on the loose. Ma'am, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Sharpe here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on New York equipment. The best warranty you have.
Call 402-391-2336. Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you on a Victory Monday. Huskers took care of Colorado 28-10 Saturday. Now get ready for the Panthers of Northern Iowa coming up this week. Let's get back to the phones. Casson up in the state of Washington joins us next. Good evening, Casson.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Don't really have anything to say, but I'm just so enthused to see how well Nebraska played this last weekend. I've been dealing with the UW fans and how great UW's been, especially after last year, and they're playing for the national championship. And they're always wondering why I'm such a rabid Nebraska fan. And this past weekend just demonstrated what Nebraska can do on both sides of the ball in a team effort that just showed such a commitment to each other and the fan base and the coaches. It was just so refreshing to see. I hope this momentum just carries us through the rest of the season, and that we're getting back on the national stage. I hate to carry it out that far, but boy, it sure felt good.
Good deal. Casson, we appreciate you carrying that Husker spirit up there in the great Northwest. And looking forward to getting back up there. It's been a while since we've had a game up there. Love that venue. Love all the sailgaters, and it's a great place to go watch a game.
Yeah, I'll be anxiously waiting for them to return to the Northwest so I can go to a game. I have some family that lives real close by to the stadium. They've already offered me a place to stay the night before so I don't have to fight the traffic because it's horrible trying to get into there. But I'm really, really excited to see that happen.
Good stuff. Appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Thanks for being a big Red fan out there in the state of Washington.
Yeah. There's quite a few of us up here, so we're well represented.
Great. Good deal. Casson, appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call. Earlier today, Jessica had a chance to catch up with Lindsey Peterson, who is the Director of Ops for Husker Volleyball. She recorded the podcast The Dig. Going to play you part of that right now.
Welcome back into another episode of The Dig, powered by Emeritus. I'm Jessica Coody, and this week joined by Director of Operations, Lindsey Peterson. Her first time on the podcast this season. Welcome back. Great to have you here in studio.
Yeah, it's great to be back. I feel like we were here not too long ago last year talking about a stadium match, and think that all of this has come about since then. But it's exciting to be back in this time of year and fall, and you can feel the energy around Lincoln for sure.
Absolutely. Big weekend over the weekend for you guys. Picked up a couple wins here at home, but I did want to circle back and go to the loss at SMU. How did you guys see the team respond from that and want to bounce back from that?
Well, we always talk about a loss, like you have something to learn from it. And if you don't learn anything from it, then obviously it beat you twice, basically. So we really talked about, hey, how did we get in the situation? We let SMU get a lot of momentum in that first set. We were up, and then they came back, and you could see them just get a lot of hope and momentum and think that they had a shot to win this. And we didn't respond how we wanted, and we saw maybe a little more fear and timidness in our team than what we had hoped for or anticipated. But credit to SMU. They played an incredible match. They were very tough defensively, and you could see it wore on us in our offense and shut down our offense. And we also saw the importance of serving and passing. I mean, their servers were hot. They had one server that was a very tough server, and she got really hot, and that can really change the match. And it did on Tuesday. So our focus was, when we came back into the gym Wednesday, was, hey, we got to learn and move on. We know where we need to get better. We saw the importance of serving and passing. But we also saw the sense of urgency we need to have when we're up, or how to play each point. We can't play the last point. We have to have an urgency that when we're up, we need to finish that game out. And so there was a lot we could take away from that will definitely help us. And it was, like you said, it was a great match to start and on the road and to see that environment. I mean, it was a packed house. We knew they were going to be excited to play in that. They don't get that, that many fans every night, and we do. And so it was really everything was in their favor. They were coming out to have fun, and we needed to be able to respond. And it was great for us to see, because we'll face that a lot this year, especially on the road in the Big Ten.
You had mentioned the serving, and they had, I think, 7 service aces. How do you address that, and how do you stop that in match when you do have somebody that's got the hot hand like that?
Well, when somebody's serving like that, your focus turns to, we just got to get the ball in the air. Mm-hmm. And then everyone has to have the mindset that they're going to better the ball and do something with it. So, take a little pressure off our passers. If they get the ball up, then we need to do our job offensively to get them out of that rotation. The quickest way to get a hot server out is, not let him go on a run. And unfortunately, if they start going on runs, it just builds their confidence, and they start to feel a little more confident from the service line, and makes it tougher for us, for the passers. So the biggest key is when you find a hot server, you got to find a way to side out quickly and get them out of their rhythm and not let them start to get in the flow from the service line. And so we address that we got to do a better job on our end, not fighting not to get aced and just getting the ball in the air. And then everybody taking a little bit of responsibility, not just our passers, and trying to get out of that rotation and get that server off the service line.
How much of it was a good reminder, too? I know, this is nothing new for this program, but, hey, you're probably going to get everybody's best night in and night. Everybody is fighting to play their very best against Nebraska. How good of a reminder is that, hey, everybody's coming out and they are going to be fired up to play Nebraska?
I think it was a good reminder early, especially because we have new players. We have some players that have been here before, and last year with the experience, but it's good for them to see it's not just in the Big Ten we're going to get everybody's best shot. It's everybody's best shot no matter whether it's at home or away. And they have to understand that the target's on them. And I think sometimes that can cause some pressure. So you think, well, if you lose a match, maybe it takes a little bit of pressure off and they understand, hey, that will take the heat off of trying to beat Nebraska. But when you wear Nebraska across your chest and you decide to come to this program and be part of this team, that's an expectation and a pressure you're going to have to face because of the tradition that our program is built, and just everyone wants to have a shot at Nebraska. And it's, you see that in all sports. The top basketball teams, like Duke had it for a long time, North Carolina. Everyone if you can say you beat those teams, it's big for your programs. Yeah. And that was probably SMU's mindset, Tuesday. That's huge for their program to say whatever our ranking was going into that, they beat Nebraska. And that's something that their players will use to thrive on to get them through the season. And it also is a great thing they can use for recruiting. Like, look what we've done, our program has done. And so, it's part of being on our team and part of, being in this program. And they understand that expectation. And it's a good reminder that every night you have to be at your best, because you can't just look at what the name is on the team across the court, what's on their uniform. You have to play Nebraska volleyball every single night. Absolutely.
Well, how did you guys like the way that they responded then getting back home inside the Devaney Center with the two matches back at home?
It was a good response. It's tough. It was a lot in 1 week for them, and we knew that, and our non-conference has been tough. So we wanted to try to get back and get in a flow, and you saw that each of our matches, as we start out, the teams we faced in Montana State and the Citadel, like the first set was maybe a little bit shaky, but as the match went on, you saw improvement throughout the match, and you saw, us start to settle down, get in our rhythm both offensively and defensively, and put that pressure on the opposing teams. And that's what we needed to see, and that was a great response and what we were expecting, and what we need to use to build off of, because each week, the ante goes up a little bit. I mean, this week's it's gonna be a really tough week again for us, and then you don't want to look ahead, but when you look ahead, it doesn't get easier. And I think that's why we have to have the mindset. We have to continue to get better each week and not play to the opponent on the other side.
Lauren and JB were talking on the broadcast. They seemed to really love the play of Layla Blackwell. And when she got her opportunity, how big of a bright spot was she for you guys, especially against the Citadel?
Yeah, Layla is such a fun player to have on our team. She's super mature, very experienced with, what has coming from San Diego. She's played at a high level. She just has a calming factor out there, but you can see she has a light and a passion out there that really rubs off on our team. And so it was really fun to see her come out and make an impact in the match. And she's very talented. And so it's great to know that we have those options, and it gives a team a different look. They haven't seen Layla play a lot, so it's hard to prepare for her. She's a different type of hitter than what you see in Rebecca and Andy. And that plays to our strengths. And so Layla's going to get a lot of time, and she did a great job this weekend for us. And you saw that she came in, we didn't miss a beat, and she had a huge impact on us offensively.
And then in terms of the hitters too, you guys just have so much depth. How are you going about figuring out who's playing when, and you feel like you're getting closer to figuring out what you need and when?
Yeah, that's the magic question, and it is having depth is a blessing, but sometimes it also can be a curse too, and how you look at it. But we love the fact that we have a super competitive gym, and we know that we have, if it's an off night for somebody, we have somebody else that's ready to come in and be a game changer and make an impact. And so that's what we're excited about, and everyone's really working hard and trying to figure out what their role is. As we continue to get through this non-conference, I think roles will start to be a little more settled in, and people understand what's needed from them for this team, and that'll only help us get more in our rhythm and smooth things out. But yeah, we have a lot of depth, and that's a good thing, because you don't have to rely on if somebody's struggling, hoping they get out of it. If they need to take a break, we have somebody that can come in and still be at the exact same level, and that puts a lot of stress and pressure on the opposing teams, as they have to continue to prepare for more than just one or two players. There's a lot of players they got to prepare for, because we could play several on any given night.
You know, you had talked earlier about, receiving the serve against SMU, but how do you guys feel like the progress is being made about what your guys are doing from behind the service line?
Yeah, we like to have our ace to error ratio, about 1 ace to every 2 errors, and when we came back in our first match to Citadel, we started out missing a few serves early. I think some of it was nerves being back home, and we settled in, but we've got to continue to be a better serving team and put pressure on them. We saw what service pressure can do to us, and we're going to face teams where we're going to have to do the exact same thing to get them uncomfortable and out of their rhythm offensively. So that's been a big focus in practice. It'll continue to be. We saw, we had, I think, 7 aces against Montana State the other night, and so that's signs to show, signs showing that we're progressing and we're serving tough. Now we just need to continue to serve tough, and if we don't want to err, we have a really good defense. We want to let our defense. If we can't get an ace, then we need to let our defense win it and not give the team an easy out by erring on our serve.
Absolutely. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to get into with you, well, a couple of different things, but first of all, we heard Lauren talking the other day about this drill that you guys do, focusing on digs, and the Caleb Banworth drill. Can you tell us about that and why that's been an important focus for this team?
Well, it's just a bro dig drill where, they're in there and they're getting hit at from all different angles, and it's tough. There's no block, so it's an open net, and you have people swinging away at you. And defense is really about grit, and it's a mentality and effort. And that's what our players need to understand, and a lot of them have that, but it's good to continue to reinforce it, because you can't just rely on the block to slow it down. And a defensive play is such a momentum changer in the game of volleyball. And so it's a tough drill. It's a very tough drill to get out of, and you have to be extremely gritty and, be willing to make a play that is, is it one that you're going to make all the time? So you have to find ways to get the ball up, and that's something that it puts stress on our defenders, but it also helps build their confidence, because if you get out of that drill and you find your way out of that drill, then you know that, hey, you're pretty good in defense, and so the block doesn't do their job or gets past the block, our backcourt has it handled, and that's a way you really frustrate teams. And we saw that a little bit against SMU. I mean, they were digging the ball and coming back at us in transition, and we got to be able to do the same. And we have a great backcourt, and that drill just continues to improve.
That was Lindsay Peterson again as a part of this week's episode of The Dig, and that was just a portion of it. So you can check out the full conversation. It's out now on our podcast platforms and our YouTube channel as well. The Dig is powered by Emeritus, powers this podcast and all of Husker women's sports. But we also dove into Harper Murray's story. Lindsay was a part of that, and we heard from her perspective on it. On that E60 documentary. And so we dive into that a little bit, but then also just the resources that Nebraska Volleyball provides their student athletes, and how important that's been to this program as the expectations and the growth and all of that continues to happen. So it was really, really a great conversation. Always enjoy talking with Lindsay. So check that out now on our podcast platforms and our YouTube channel as well. All right, got to get to a break here on Sports Nightly. We're back with more coming up after this.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils and a deep pride of our roots, we're born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
This fall, be ready for every tailgate, touchdown, and adventure in a perfect car, truck, or SUV from Sid Dillon Chevrolet. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo and shop Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group. We're also your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, offering medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit us at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
In the heartland, where ambition thrives, there are those who are made and those who are made for more. Just like the Huskers on game day, Kloss, a leading producer of ag equipment, unleashes the power of ambition in the field. Discover why our cutting-edge machinery and unwavering support aren't just a promise, they're a commitment to your success. Because at Kloss, we know you are made for more. Visit your Kloss dealer or CLAAS.com.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. You're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hi, this is Rex Burkhead, and I'm asking you to donate to the Team Jack Foundation to support childhood brain cancer research. Your contribution fuels the discovery of new treatments, enhancing children's lives and improving survival rates. Childhood brain cancer is a serious issue in Nebraska, where we rank number 7th nationally in incident rates. Every dollar brings us closer to a cure and a brighter future for these brave kids. Make a difference today by visiting teamjackfoundation.org to donate. Go Big Red.
Live reports of polar bear on the loose. Ma'am, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hubbard here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on New York equipment. The best warranty you got.
Call 402-391-2336.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln. Tune into the Team Jack Radiothon presented by the Home Agency on September the 26th. Your donation will support research to find treatments for children battling brain cancer. Visit teamjackfoundation.org to donate. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here. It is a Victory Monday on Sports Nightly. Huskers took care of Colorado. Now get ready for Northern Iowa. The final non-conference game of the year will be this Saturday night with the Panthers visiting Lincoln. After Saturday's game, Jessica got a chance to catch up with one of Saturday night's heroes, Ty Robinson. Let's hear that conversation.
Mission were you on today? You were flying all over the place.
Yeah, no, we just wanted that ball. Remember a lot of things that were said last year. Just put our head down, got to work over the off season, and when it was time to come again, we made sure it wasn't going to happen.
10 tackles for loss, 6 sacks. You guys had forced two turnovers. How does that sound?
I think it's a great day. But for this game, we were hoping to go for the record, the sack record in a game. I think it was 11 or 12. So we didn't quite get there yet, but I'll be okay for the 24 hours, but when we get back next week, we're going to need a little bit more.
What can you say just to the guys that played alongside you and the pressure you guys were able to get to Colorado all day long?
I just think, it just goes to show how complimentary we are up there, up front, and especially with the linebackers and even those DBs. I mean, those DBs did a hell of a job today covering those guys, allowing us to get back there and have enough time to go and get those sacks and those turnovers. So I think it's just great to see, everyone working as one machine.
Great stuff. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You hear that, Greg, right there, and that was a similar sentiment I heard from MJ Sherman and Nash Hutmaker, giving credit to the guys on the back end and the secondary that covered those wide receivers from Colorado and allowing them to do what they did up front. But Ty Robinson is on a different level this year. I mean, he is just playing with this. Well, I guess he doesn't have any hair, but playing with his hair on fire. And, Coach Rhule was joking today just how, I think it might have been in his press conference. I couldn't remember which one, but that when after the game, he bear hugged him and that it almost took his shoulder off. And, to see Ty and Coach Rhule interact just this last game, but the game before, you can tell how much Ty means to Coach and Coach means to Ty, and Ty was one of the big important pieces to come back to be able to continue to turn this thing around. And I think Ty's on a mission this year, and so far 2 games in, you can see it.
Jess, I'd be hard pressed to find many defensive tackles that are having a bigger impact across the country than Ty Robinson. He's blocking kicks, playing great up front, disrupting offensive lines. I mean, he is the first 2 games have been a clinic for him, and he's got to be catching scouts' eyes, right? I mean, NFL scouts have to be going, that's a guy we want to draft.
Yeah, and I think he was already on the radar last year, and that's what Terrence Knighton had told me back in the summer when we did our position previews, is that he's a guy that could have gone, and whether he was drafted or not, he probably was good enough that he could have made a team or had a pretty good chance at it, but he wanted to come back. And, Coach Rhule has said that he's brought him up time and time again about, hey, this guy is, you're going to want him on your team. So he's going to continue to go up draft boards. It was funny, Coach said today on the TV show that him and Nash were both arguing on who got the blocked field goal, because Nash said he got a finger on it too. So they were saying that they should both be credited with it. But that they make quite the duo. It's pretty good luxury to have 0 and 9 out there on your defensive front.
No doubt. Good stuff there. All right.
Greg, I will say this, too. So I had my brother came, and he's watched a ton of Nebraska football, but his best friend came with him to this game. And immediately, one of the first things he said to me was, boy, 9 can play some football. And so Ty jumped out to someone that, just, hey, casually watching Nebraska, maybe hasn't been dialed in on Nebraska, but just watching for the first time really intently, Ty was a guy. And I think it's not really surprising, but he's a guy that's jumped out to more than just Nebraska fans, that's for sure.
Well, I can see why. He just jumps off the tape when you watch, or if you're watching us live, you see him every play make an input. All right, here's our schedule for the week. Programming note, volleyball tomorrow night knocks us off. Huge match with Creighton. 6 o'clock pregame, 7 o'clock first serve. Football coaches show, hour 1, Wednesday night. Garrett McGuire will be here, and then we'll have an open hour of Sports Nightly in hour 2. Thursday night, John Cook back after a week hiatus from his coaches show. So Coach Cook in studio hour 1. No show Friday because volleyball plays another ranked team, Arizona State, on Friday night. So our pick segment will be on Thursday. Jeremiah cannot wait. Probably not. But the chat room, you've got an update on how the chat room standings are going through 2 weeks, right?
Oh, yeah. I will get I didn't know we were going to those. Okay. So for the week, Shane, Sandy, and Andy all go 7-3, so they win the week. Standings overall, Shane is 23-4. Joseph is 22-5. Corin is 22-5. Andy is 22-5. So they have had some guys have some solid picks for the first 2 weeks.
That's really good. Much better than the big dog.
Much better.
Much better. We got winners to talk about in the next segment. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. We're back to get everybody's winner next.
Hi, this is Rex Burkhead, and I'm asking you to donate to the Team Jack Foundation to support childhood brain cancer research. Your contribution fuels the discovery of new treatments, enhancing children's lives and improving survival rates. Childhood brain cancer is a serious issue in Nebraska, where we rank number 7th nationally in incident rates. Every dollar brings us closer to a cure and a brighter future for these brave kids. Make a difference today by visiting teamjackfoundation.org to donate. Go Big Red.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid mineral with protein or Sweet Pro block supplements for space feeding, while also stretching your forages up to 25% better, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough. See your Ford dealer today and celebrate leadership with special offers on Ford F-Series. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
IT issues wreaking havoc on your day? It's time to hire the experts. It's time to hire Hamilton. When it comes to your business, you don't have time to worry about network security, data backup, and protection, or support when devices slow down or stop working. At Hamilton, we ensure that your technology is up to speed and works as hard as you do. Don't let IT issues slow you down. You deserve better. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs Solutions forever refuel. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. It's a Monday night. We always save this last section of our show to name our weekend winners. And Jess, we'll start with you.
I'll actually let Henry go first because I think we might have had the same, but I want to see what he says, and I'm going to maybe build off of it.
All right, Henry, lead us off.
So I'm going to go with Northern Illinois, who beat, I think they were ranked 5th. They beat Notre Dame, and now they're ranked themselves.
How about that? And we've seen Northern Illinois, unfortunately, come into Lincoln and win in the last 10 years. And good, solid program. We beat them. Matt, here's your trivia, guys. That was Matt Rhule's first win as Husker head coach, was beating Northern Illinois last year. So great win for them.
And he had a ton of respect for them when we played them.
He did.
So I'm going to build off of that. And if you haven't heard it, but Andy Garcia is the play-by-play for NIU, and it was just his second game on the mic for that football program, and he gets to call a moment like that and did a great job knocking it out of the park. It's gone viral on social media. So, everybody that's in this business lives to have a moment that you can call like that, and he delivered it. It was electric, and he is getting a lot of burn for it today here on social media, getting a lot of love on social media.
Say his name again.
Andy Garcia.
Awesome.
Yeah, just his second game. He is named the play-by-play for NIU last year at the end of the season, and so it's just second game he's called for them. So what a moment to be able to do in your second game.
Awesome stuff. Good for him, and big moment for that program. And that's had a lot of big moments down through the years. They pull off upsets, as we certainly know here. David, what do you have for us for a weekend winner?
Well, I have the Iowa State kicker, Kyle Conradi, because he was 2 for 3 in field goals, and both of them were in the fourth quarter to put Iowa State over Iowa 20-19, kicking that game-winning field goal. And I was in Memorial Stadium watching it live with all the other student section people, and just hearing that, all the Nebraska fans cheering on Iowa State and the Cyclones, it was awesome.
It was great. That's what I was telling you, Greg, earlier. When you said something about, hey, there's a big roar, it was that. It was hilarious when it happened. But, yeah, 54-yarder, talk about ice in the veins.
Unbelievable. And it was right down the middle, and it had probably 5-6 yards to spare. Big-time kick to beat your rival. He will be a hero forever at Iowa State for that kind of a kick, to do that in that situation. That was great. I'm glad you had that, David. He was on my list in case some of my other ones weren't picked. I'm glad you were able to pick him out of there. Could be a good year for Iowa State. They're a team that I've kind of been high on them, Jessica, for several weeks, and there they go.
We'll dive into that on Thursday. We'll save that argument for Thursday.
All right, my winner is Husker Nation. Boy, did you show up and live up to your reputation Saturday night. Electric atmosphere. It's why we love college football so much. What everybody brought with them, the energy. The whole night was just a pageantry thing. It's getting attention around the country. Our game presentations, the fans. I read that letter earlier in the hour from the CU fan about how wonderful Husker fans were to him. How can you go wrong? Not just picking Husker Nation with what they did Saturday night. Jess, I hope we have a couple of more of those kind of atmospheres yet here this fall.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Rhule said it. Let's keep it going. It makes it really hard for opposing teams. Also, before we run out of time, Crypto says I'm his winner for shooting the hot dog gun, which we haven't talked about, right? It was on my bucket list. Check it off the list.
How much kickback does that thing have? Does it have
None.
a little re-kick?
None.
None?
It's real smooth to shoot. Hopefully they let me shoot it again, but I had to throw that out there because that was on my bucket list for the season. I got to do it.
Oh, they're on that sideline every time. They'll give you the gun again. You don't have that thing. Damon wants a hot dog. He gets hungry during games. He's always kind of plotting how he's going to eat the rest of the day. And I know he hours in advance, he's thinking about what he's going to eat.
Yes, and in fact, I had to help get him a sandwich pregame, but we'll talk about that story later.
The stories keep coming from DB. Henry, David, thank you guys. Great stuff for there. No show tomorrow. Husker Volleyball. Go Big Red against Creighton. We're back with you on Wednesday night. Garrett McGuire will be in the studio. We'll talk Husker wide receivers on our football radio show that night. Enjoy the next couple of days.
413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For almost 50 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been more than just a dealership. We're a family dedicated to serving yours. Shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer for the new car, truck, or SUV to fit your needs. We're also your GMC Business Elite dealer for commercial vehicles. Visit us at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Still using that old, outdated office phone system? You need better. At Hamilton, we offer solutions for the modern office. Whether you have an office full of staff or your employees work remotely and are on the go, seamless call handling is important. Elevate your communication and connect seamlessly with clients and staff with Hamilton Business Phone Systems. Choose better and hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart.